Hi, it's me, Fan of Fat, Boba Fett's biggest fan, and today I'm going to be talking about some news first. One, I'm not going to be doing my reaction videos anymore. It's because of my phone. My phone only has limited storage, so I can't... how do I say this? I can't do the thing that I do. The thing that I do for my reaction videos is that I go to CapCut. I use a video on my phone, that's me showing me, and another one showing my TV. That is in front of me. So I can't do those videos unless if I chip in $1,000 to get me a new iPhone. So yeah. Anyways, Nyanko BF lol. I'm sorry I made this video. I know you're going through a lot of scrutiny. This is supposed to be a theory of the follow-up of my Sprunki theory that is at 197 views for my channel. So, let's start the video. Okay. Last time, I talked about the other Sprunkies with my theory. Let's recap it. Wenda is Gray's mom. Black is Gray's dad. And Gray had a sister that got missing and his father died. That would have been with the other Sprunkies. Wenda would have been livid and killed every single Sprunky. Anyways, Gray got PTSD from the Black Hat during an incident. And that's my theory. Also, I said that Pinky survived. Let's first start about Pinky's survival. This is what she looks like during Phase 2. She has a ripped face and losing teeth. However, it appears that there's no blood, and she still has her voice. So I think that Pinky is still alive. And that Mr. Fun Computer was lying about everyone being dead. Anyways, more onto the theory. Jevin looks like a priest of some kind. I think that he is a priest that is making a cult. I think this too because of Ori during Phase 2. Do you notice that he got a cut? I mean, not a cut, but like a hole where his ribcage is open and his heart is still there. But I think it's supposed to be a sacrifice of some kind. Whatever the sacrifice was, it wasn't up to plan. And I think this was during when Black died and Gray's sister disappeared. But I think Gray's sister is somewhere else that Gray is aware of. I think that Gray's mom, I think that the tree is Gray's sister. And Gray's sister's body is buried under the tree. Is buried under the tree. So, I think it would make sense. Maybe Gray buried his sister's body. And I think Wenda killed the Sprunkies. I think that Tucker wasn't a part of the cult. I think he was more of like a police officer or a farmer. I think that he might have been a sheriff due to the hat that he wears, or the same thing for him being a farmer. And one of my friends pointed out that the hole around his head is honestly, is straight up honestly, how do I say this? Away from his head, so it looks like a little scrape. However, yeah. And if you see me pointing, I'm sorry, I'm not going to edit it. With that, I think I might, but okay, let's go on with my theory more. And there's a lot of evidence to prove that Wenda got crazy after Miss Black died. I think this because of one significant thing. The hat that triggers Black to appear. I think that a sacrifice was made, with Jevin being the epicenter, after something happened to Black. Wenda wanted her lover back, so Jevin made her do his sacrifice. That ended up her going crazy and being told something. And then killing. Or dismembering all the Sprunkies. Besides Grey. With that robot, I think that he is a toy. And the way that I can explain it is that Mr. Funbot, or what he's called, looks like a toy. And I think he is. And I bet this because of an idea. What if I'm making a video, sorry. I'll be right there. I'll be back with you. And I'll make a cool transition. Sorry, I'm back. I had to eat dinner. Anyways, like I was saying, what if Mr. Funbot was used as a way for therapy for Grey? Yes, I think that Mr. Funbot was used to help Grey get over the trauma. And I think the game takes place in a mental institution, or in a dream. But I think it takes place in a mental institution. And I think that Grey is all imagining what happened. And I think the stuff that we see in the Sprunki game is actually Grey's medication. Because I think Grey took a thing called Happy Pills. Why do I think Grey took Happy Pills? Trauma. It's obviously called Happy Pills for a reason. That explains the kid looking aesthetic. However, when he sees a hat, he gets a PTSD of what happened. Maybe the ritual was caused by the hat. So, that's an idea that I have. Also, sorry, I just need to think. I haven't made a script for this video. Okay. And I think I got some ideas as well. That I think that Wanda is still in Gray's life. Not because of... not because they live in the same house, but because Wanda is in the same mental institution. Think about it. Because if Wanda went cuckoo, 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 she would have crashed out, mentally ill, and started to kill all the Sprunkies. Besides a few. That leads to some stuff. But I think I'm going to start off with why the Sprunkies sing. I think they're in a choir. And I think they're in a church choir. And I think it was a church that held, that secretly believed in satanic things. Like satanic rituals. Does it make sense? I think so. And I think I got an explanation for Simon and Dirk. First of all, I think that Simon is still alive, but he might have gotten twisted. And I think how he got twisted was becoming crazy and started to eat things. Or just started biting things in his mouth and starting to go mentally ill by becoming a cannibal. Evidence for this is that Simon doesn't have any eyes during phase 2 and has more of a elongated mouth with teeth showing. And once I think about it, I think I know what possessed Simon the Wendigo. From a game theory that was from MadPat, he explained that a Wendigo was a thing that possessed someone. And when possessed, the person starts to eat. Starts to become a cannibal. Even bites off their own lips. Yikes. And they grow in size of the thing that they ate, so they'll never be full. Or satisfied with their meal. Maybe he's possessed by a Wendigo during this incident. And that guy, the brown guy with a bucket on his head, I think it was made official that, made canon that Simon was the one who bit out the part of that guy's head. Besides being, was that the bite of 87? I think it also means another thing. That they were trying to summon demons for a deal. And they sacrificed Ori. However, I think due to that, a demon came out that was a Wendigo and took control of Simon. That would explain his evil form. And also, I think Durple got possessed too. That would explain his jaw opening up as well. So I think that would make more sense. Anyways, I think that what's happening so far, and I'll explain what I think happened. Something happened to Black. Black had a family a loving companion, Wenda, a daughter, and his son, Gray. After when Black died, their church, that was run by Jevin, that had a satanic part, told Wenda that he could bring back her husband, with a sacrifice by killing Orin. Orin would be sacrificed in a ritual with all the Sprunkies around, because they're in the choir in the church. However, it goes wrong and Simon gets possessed by a Wendigo during the incident, along with something that leads Wenda to start killing every single one. Maybe because she wanted her husband back. And also, I don't know what happened to Gray's sister, but I think she died a little bit before, maybe during the same time with Black. And then she died, got buried by Gray or somebody else under a tree. And then Wenda killed almost all the Sprunkies, and she left Jevin alive, and Gray experiencing this event that I'll call the Song of Joy, because every single horror game has to have an incident that happens, like the Flight of 87, Make a Friend Day, or the Hour of Joy, so why not? And Gray, along with Wenda, goes into a psychiatric clinic. Wenda still sees Gray with regulated visits. Gray starts to go inside of a toy box and starts pretending to be each character. Gray looking sad because his life sucks now. But every single time he sees that black hat and puts it on, he sees everything done wrong. Seeing his mother in a different light. Seeing everyone in a different light. And he has his companion toy that's there to sing with him. Along with a computer that tries to tell him, make positive stuff, but tell him some weird stuff. You might be asking, who do you think it is? I think I got an idea for some two options. A, it's Gray's sister, or B, it's Black. I think I'm gonna go with Gray's sister, because it sounds childish, in my opinion. It sounds like a child. So I think that is just telling Gray to run away. Running away from his problems during the incident. And Gray sees all this stuff in a lens with happy pills. So that's my theory. I hope you like this theory, and I'll see you in the next video, where I might call out MCAT.